People left already. Shit, I better go live on YouTube. Dang. I gotta go live on time. Otherwise, people get mad, tune away. Hey, I'm here. We're gonna try not to say anything today to get us banned. But got the first strike against us on YouTube. The warning strike for medical misinformation. So beware, be warned there on YouTube, as I'm here, but they don't like me and they might get rid of me. So thanks for coming back. Yeah, sorry. Okay, I'll be more. I realize it. I have a time I'm supposed to start. I got it. You're here. We're going to talk about stuff. We're going to talk about Kanye West. I was thinking of a title for the show that was a little more controversial, but still a controversial topic. You know, talking about Jewish people can be very controversial. So we're going to talk about how banned Kanye is and how banned maybe he's going to be. And we're going to try not to get censored ourselves, because there have been people who have been censored. That's one thing about it I definitely want to comment on, is the level of censorship around what Kanye West is saying, and whether what Kanye West is saying is anti-Semitic. I don't know whether to do a poll on that. People have different opinions, but I will tell you, like, by definition, by what they say the definition is, it is, you know, because he talked about the Jewish media, and that's, yeah, you can't, it's anti-Semitic to say that Jews control the media and banking. So you can't say that. You know about the CEO of PayPal? He is Jewish, actually, believe it or not. And BlackRock also. But you can't say, it's not all Jewish people. So I don't promote a Jewish conspiracy on this channel, because there are Jews that are cool. So obviously they're not all in it together. So what Kanye West said harmful? Well, we'll have to talk about it. We'll try to talk about it in like an honest way, in a way that people don't find anti-Semitic and try to get me canceled for, because that's what happened to me before, you know. So we'll talk about it. Gosh, hard to be honest and forthright, though. Some people can say other things, though. And is Kanye West getting away with it because he's black, to bring race into the issue? Like, would a white guy still have the video up on YouTube where he said the shit that Kanye said? I know other white guys that called out Jewish stuff on YouTube, and they're not on YouTube anymore. And I know when I talked about it before, yeah, it did get censored actually by YouTube. And actually, who runs YouTube? Well, that's complicated, right? But to say that there's such a thing as Jewish power is also anti-Semitic. But yes, there is Susan, who does run YouTube, I guess, which does censor everybody and does like profit off of other people's talent and stuff. But the people that own Google or Alphabet, they aren't necessarily Jewish, I guess. So you can't say they run everything. You just can't say it, at least. If you're going to think it quietly. So thanks for joining me for the show. I'm going to talk about a few news items. There's a killer we designed, manipulated, and designed an actual killer virus. Not like, well, like I said, I already got censored for medical misinformation. I don't ever give medical misinformation on my show. But unlike the current version of COVID, the thing they manufactured is actually extremely deadly to mice and maybe to humans. We'll find out once it escapes. People are outraged. I read. People are outraged because we created a killer virus, the same way they might have done with the one that we just finished dealing with. Or we're still in a pandemic. It's still a state of emergency in the state of California, which might mean you get free healthcare in this communist utopia where gas is $7. So, but they give you stimulus checks. So that's how you keep gas. How do you keep gas at $7? Keep giving people stimulus checks. Okay, we can talk about communism too on this show. I want to talk. Yeah, we're going to talk about Kanye West's interview. We're going to talk about what he said. We're going to talk about how some Jewish people reacted. We're going to talk about whether that is wrong. We're going to talk about whether like his career is over. Oh, also very important to talk about whether he's crazy, whether to dismiss him as crazy, because that's what people are saying is that, he's kind of crazy. And I've kind of said he is maybe kind of, but I don't want to say that because he might be kind of crazy, but maybe not. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, Donald Trump, and then Donald Trump is being called anti-Semitic too. It's so funny. Everybody's an anti-Semite. So I'll talk about my censorship experience with Jewish people and say that, and also say up front, I love Jewish people. I love like all kinds of different people. There are some really annoying Jewish people, but there are some really great Jewish people. And same with like lots of different races. Like there are annoying white people, like especially some like white women can be really annoying, but that's not all white women. And then black people, some of them, like some black people are violent. That doesn't mean all of them are. But if I bring up statistics, you will probably start calling me racist. Not you, but somebody. One thing that racists bring up all the time is statistics. So we want to make sure not to talk about those too much. But can we talk about it without being censored? Can Kanye talk about it? Is Kanye bringing up issues that are actually important about Jewish people taking advantage of black people, or black people, or black music being about black people killing each other and being promoted by Jewish people? I'd be concerned. I could be concerned if I was black, I guess. Like, oh, what's going on with that? Why are all these? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it seriously. Let's talk about it seriously in a way that won't get censored, because it's not what we're trying to do. We're definitely not trying to do that, because we rely on this platform to have people watch us, and then go over to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil to support the show, which you can do, which is really important, because you could, as of today, I should ring a bell. As of today, you can give me super chats on this channel, and you can become a super member and things. There is a $, and I even see it. So this channel is kind of like, I'm official. So I'm mainstream. So I want to say things that are acceptable to the mainstream. So you can super chat, but they take 30%, and YouTube is actually evil. We participate, we're here, but they are evil. So it's better if you want to support the show, and your support really goes a long way. Go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, and you can drop coffee and a super chat there, and they take 5%, and then they don't cancel me like I was canceled by YouTube a million times. So I hope it doesn't turn into a thing where I'm just getting strikes all the time, because I'm I'm committed to being mainstream and not breaking rules. But can I say some Jews are annoying? Can I say that? See, Kanye said all of them. He's got a problem with all of them. So I'll show you. We'll show you the clips. We'll get you up to speed. He's also buying Parler. I was going to say Kanye, or now he goes by Ye. And he doesn't like it if you misgender him. Thanks, Joe Kaiser, for the super chat. But how do I see? I have to see how I can see those so I can look at them at the end of the show. Thanks for that. But go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. And then YouTube doesn't get any. But thank you anyway. I'm not going to say you're wrong because you're not wrong. You're cool. You support the real shit, the real ass. Cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. I bring you the news, the real news. Yes. News and truth. The truth. What if I said? What if I titled the video, "The Truth About the Jews," and put it up on YouTube? I want to see somebody like really go there, but you can't. You can't. I was going to title the video, "Is Kanye crazy or does he have a point?" But then I was thinking, if I say that, then some people are going to read it and be like, "What do you mean? Does he have a point? He's obviously anti-Semitic." So yeah, obviously he said stuff that is considered anti-Semitic. Yeah. So you can't even say that he didn't, because he did. And he even called himself an anti-Semite. He's not even trying not to be. He's saying that. He went on this show, Drink Champs, where they literally drink a lot during the show. And I don't know if he drank as much as the hosts of the show, but they had him on for like 3.5 hours. And I listened to at least the first 2 hours of it. And, it's pretty interesting for somebody who, is maybe having a bipolar kind of moment or episode or whatever you call it. He's, as he describes himself, lit. He's like on fire, he's like feeling it. And he's on a crusade and he's on a mission against the Jews. The Jewish media, he says, according to Ye, who, like I said, he finds it disrespectful, people that call him Kanye West still, even though that's his name. But because he changed his name to Ye, he wants you to call him Ye. So his real name, though, is Kanye West. So I'm not gonna submit to that kind of bullying where I have to disregard reality. His real name is Kanye West. But black people have lots of different names. You ever notice that? I just want to have stereotypes. Like, can we have stereotypes about people? I mean, can we say it would be nice? It's like like black people. A lot of them have a lot of different names. You notice that? It's true sometimes. But people say that's what, am I being racist? No, I'm not being racist. But it is true. Like Jay-Z has like 20 names. Jay-Z, Hova, and then a bunch more. Jehovah, Jay. Kanye is Yeezy. Yay, Kanye West. Anyway, I don't know. What are you allowed to say? I wish I wish you could say things without people getting offended, because sometimes I say things that are offensive and I don't mean to be. And maybe Kanye doesn't mean to be, but maybe he does, because he is saying he's taking it personally what the Jews did. So what did he say? I'll give you a summary. He feels like Jews. He said how I play some of the clips. Play what some people said about him. Play what Ben Shapiro said about him. Let me see. Where's my Ben Shapiro? Oh yeah, here's Ben Shapiro calling him crazy. First of all, just because you're having a bipolar episode doesn't mean that you're wrong. But I mean, beyond criticism, first of all, you can still be criticized for what you say. You might be more likely to say things that people don't like. You might be more likely to alienate people and offend people. And you may be more likely to say shit that's kind of crazy. But it doesn't mean you can't be criticized. It doesn't mean you're crazy. We need people who are not. We need people like Kanye West. We need people who are not normal. Kanye West is not a normal person. He said things and did things that obviously a normal person would never do, like when he took that award from Taylor Swift, or when he said that George Bush doesn't care about black people. Like, and people really appreciated that when he said that. That was something where people were thinking, because they didn't bring any hurricane relief after Katrina, because New Orleans is mostly black people. So he said George Bush doesn't care about black people, and it was like, and nobody would say that right on TV, right next to Mike Myers, who was like, what's going on? So you got to, so he does crazy shit sometimes that's very respectable. This time, some people think some things. So here are, it is important to me what Jewish people think about it, because I'm not offended by it, but I'm not Jewish. I've seen some other Jewish people who aren't offended by it. But if something, if I say something and somebody says it's offensive, and it's like the race or ethnicity or whatever that I'm talking about, they'll say, oh, okay, I understand. Like, I don't know for sure. So what do Jewish people think? So and this is like Jewish people on the right, what they think about what Kanye West said. So here's what Ben Shapiro said.
Addison says, what are your thoughts about Kanye West? I mean, I've made my thoughts about Kanye West pretty clear. I mean, what he said is anti-Semitic. There's no question about it. I mean, what he said is pure, rote anti-Semitism, whether he is talking about DEFCON 3 to Jewish people, whether he's talking about blacks are the real Jews. I mean, this is all anti-Semitism. I do not think it is possible to defend that as not anti-Semitism, which brings somebody else I see is asking about Candace's defense of Kanye's anti-Semitic remarks. So let me just say this. Candace and I disagree about a wide variety of topics. One of the features, not the bugs, of Daily Wire Plus is the fact that we openly disagree about all of this stuff. I share my opinions about what I think Candace is saying. She shares her opinions about what she thinks that I'm saying. We battle it out. It's one of the things that you get at Daily Wire Plus is the fact that there is a wide variety of opinions. Listen, on a personal level, I get Candace defending her friend. She's very close with Kanye West. I get it. I don't think that her defense of Kanye is correct or convincing. I think that the real answer to the Kanye West of it is Kanye is a bipolar human being. I mean, he's made this very clear. I talked about this on the show. And bipolar people tend to say extraordinarily bizarre things and ugly things. And again, that doesn't excuse the bizarreness or the ugliness of the actual remarks, which, as I will say once again for the 1,000th time, are in fact anti-Semitic. But there's a difference between somebody cohesively saying what Kanye West said and Kanye West saying things in broken grammar in the midst of what appears to be a bizarre period of his life in which he is presenting Adidas executives with porn in front of their face. I'm not going to treat that the same as Ilhan Omar saying openly anti-Semitic stuff as an elected congressperson in the United States of America. So when it comes to Candace, I mean, look, am I still friends with? Of course, I'm friendly with Candace. Am I friendly with Tucker Carlson? I mean, Tucker cut a segment from his interview with Kanye, which Kanye said a bunch of anti-Semitic stuff. Listen, am I friends with Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan had on Roger Waters the other day. Roger Waters is a ridiculous anti-Semitic jerk. I mean, like, wide varieties of disagreement happen in this space. Bottom line is, when it comes to Kanye's remarks, undoubtedly anti-Semitic remarks. When it comes to Candace's defense of those remarks, I think Candace is dead wrong on what she said, while respecting her relationship with Kanye. She knows Kanye better than I do. She knows his motive. Okay, whatever. All of that I'm sure is true, and I will take that for granted. What she said about Kanye, I radically disagree with. I think that she is dead wrong. I think that it is not it betrays a lack of understanding about anti-Semitism and the scope of anti-Semitism. But we're allowed to have those disagreements. That's the way this works.
Okay, so he said a lot of different things. That what Kanye West said was rote anti-Semitism. There are a few things, like I pointed out, that but they are rote anti-Semitism because, like, who wrote the definition for anti-Semitism? I mean, so let's be serious about that, though. Really, I mean, so Jewish people wrote, then you go to the ADL and stuff. That's fine. They can define it. It's about them, but they defined it as you can't say that Jews control media and banks, right? And so Kanye West is saying that. So that's anti-Semitism then. And you also can't say Jewish people control things from behind the scenes, like secret control of anything. You can't say that's anti-Semitism because that's what they say. It's like you look up the glossary of, because I look at all this stuff, like how they define it. And so it's defined, right? And they say you can't say some of these things that are specific. Now, when Kanye West says the Jewish media, then you look and that's like, oh, okay. So people talk about Jewish media, and that's like Ben Shapiro, who is like the head of a media company, right? And then another person complaining about it is Dave Rubin, who also is like a Jewish person who's the head of a media company. So it's kind of like, it's kind of one of those things where you're like, okay, well, you can't say it, but I mean, if you look around media, for example, there are a lot of Jewish people, and so it's not fair to us. It's not fair to the rest of us for us to not be able to say, oh, well, yeah, I mean, who knows what's fair, but certain people have more power and more influence than other people. That's true. Ben Shapiro, very powerful and influential. He says anti-Semitic. He also said that Black Hebrew Israelites, like Black Hebrew Israelism, is anti-Semitic, which I just think that's the thing where what Kanye West believes about blacks being the original Jews is this weird, kind of religion, right? This Black Hebrew Israelite thing, which is kind of going around and some Black people are into, where it proposes that actually the people who are chosen by God are Black people and Native Americans, apparently, from what I can tell. Black people and Native Americans are actually the lost tribes of Israel, and that means they were actually chosen by God. And then they have like a mythology around it where they've been suffering because they don't act appropriately according to God's commandments, and that once they act according to God's commandments, then, and like who's into it? Kendrick Lamar is into it, I heard, because it's on his records. And then it proposes that because blacks are the real Jewish people, that people who say they're the white Jewish people are actually fake Jews. That's what the religion proposes. So then he says the religion is anti-Semitic. And then I'm like, well, once you go down that road, it's kind of, he's saying the religion that these Black people believe in, where they're the chosen ones, is anti-Semitic. But then that kind of opens up the idea of, well, can we criticize Judaism then? Or because Judaism is it's a religion that teaches that Jews are the chosen people, that Jesus Christ was a terrible in the Talmud, at least, that Jesus Christ was a terrible person, that you should take advantage of non-Jewish people, that in the apocalyptic future, Jews, like in the apocalyptic future, after the Jews do everything right, and the center of the world is in Jerusalem and stuff, then all the Jews will all be slaves for Jewish people. That's their belief. And nobody says, oh, that's anti-Goyim or anything, when the religion is like, I don't know. It's a supremacist religion. What can you say? It's a religion that teaches that you are better than other races. It's a religion that actually teaches that. And for some reason, you can't say, oh, but not all Jews believe, not all Jews read the Talmud. Not all Jews are like that. So that's, I realize. Not all Jews are into probably most of them. Most Jews are or don't believe in religion and stuff. And many of them are not, into the things that annoy, the annoying Jewish people are into. A lot of them aren't into that. So that's why I don't talk about Jewish conspiracy, because they're not all in on it, obviously, because there are some of them that are really cool. Ben Shapiro is pretty cool most of the time. And I still think, he maybe means well. He thinks Kanye West is being anti-Semitic. He thinks the Black Hebrew Israelites are anti-Semitic. It's his prerogative. Who else was talking about? Dave Rubin. Oh, and then also that he's using bad grammar, which is kind of a, race. So then people could easily turn around and say that Ben Shapiro is using racist tropes against Kanye West by pointing out that he has bad grammar, because it's racist to say black people can't. This thing, it goes, the woke thing is, so it's racist to say black people don't speak well. And then it's racist to say a black person is well spoken. Or if you think a black person sounds like a white person, then that's racist, because you're saying that any black person who speaks well sounds like a white person. So that's racist if you say that. There are all these things. Very complicated minefield to operate on. This is Dave Rubin tweeting about it. And Kanye West is buying Parler from Candace Owens, which I don't think is a good idea. And I don't know if Kanye is doing I don't think Kanye is doing what's in his best interest, personally. Which is the reason I think he might be having a bipolar thing, just because he's doing things that are not in his best interest. I would advise him. I would say, don't say that, And also, I feel like probably he could get some help from he could use help probably from Jewish people to get him to get the kind of success that he's looking for. He's looking to be more successful like Jewish people are. That's what he says in his interview. He says, I'm jealous of Jewish people because Jewish people don't abort their babies. They don't get divorced. When one of them does well, others do well, etc. That's what he said. He's like, I want black people to be more like Jewish people. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, right? Pointing out. So this is what Dave Rubin, another Jewish person who has a media company, talked about, saying that Kanye West, he says he's bananas. He's also just bananas. Blaming an entire people for the actions of one person is the definition of bigotry. Maybe he just needs a mirror, says Dave Rubin about Kanye West. So, and he used this clip to show that. And so this is Kanye in this interview.
And let me tell you one thing. It's like if a black...
Wow, it's so loud. Sorry.
Black man is caught with some in a car or something, everybody in the car gonna go to jail with him, right? But if a black man can play basketball or rap, only he gets the record deal. So meaning like if one black man does something bad, all the other blacks get caught with him. If one black man does something good, nobody else gets nothing with him. It's a reverse for the Jewish people, right? If a Jewish person could repeatedly fucks me on a deal, it's just them. It's just the businessman. It's not the people. It's not nobody else. But if a Jewish person does good, all of the people eat with them. That's one of the flips. I got to tell you something. Where is a black guy that has a Jewish person signed to him? Point it out. Tell me that. Where is a black person that's signed to a Jewish person? All of them. Basically 90% of them. So what I'm saying is, y'all done poked the bear too many times. Y'all should have learned with Drake. Y'all should have learned with Puff. Y'all should have learned with Hove. Y'all dealing with a different kind of animal here.
People to animals. No, I'm kidding. He was saying, and Sing Poetry in the chat points out that Dave Rubin calling Kanye West bananas could be construed as kind of racist too. So it can go lots of different ways. He says that name one black guy that's managing a Jewish person. And that's a fair, I mean, that's fair to say, right? In the music industry and stuff, he points out that in the music industry, black people have been managed by Jewish people sometimes. Jewish people have profited greatly off of black people's talent. So it happens not only in the music business, but also in the sports business. I mean, if you look at, you want to talk about overrepresentation, look at agents, sports agents, music agents, acting agents. You know, a lot of them, you know, are Jewish, and a lot of them do represent black people. But on the other hand, I would say that I would just say, I understand where he's coming from, that he feels like a lot of black people have been taken advantage of by Jewish people. But on the other hand, I would say that there are a lot of Jewish people that love black music and have discovered black talent, and without the Jewish support, they may have never become anything at all. So that's the only thing I'm thinking is at this point, he wants to build his businesses and stuff. Like, he could use help from Jewish people. He doesn't want to be enemies with them. Like, you don't want to be enemies with Jewish people. You want Jewish people on your side for the most part. So, but in the music, so it's just like, it's like a difficult thing. Black people, if you want to generalize, are better at music and sports. You know, black people are better at music and sports than Jewish people, who are better at managing and being lawyers and stuff. So Jewish people manage black people. I mean, if you want to go down like the stereotype road, but it is kind of true. Like, there aren't that many great Jewish rappers, right? And there aren't that many, but you know, there aren't as many black talent agents, but there probably are plenty of those too. And there are plenty of, and then the other thing is there are plenty of black people that take advantage of other black people too. And there are plenty of like black music executives that have probably fucked their black artists too. Because in business, people do get screwed and cheated, and sometimes it's Jewish people, but not always. So complicated. So yeah, that's what he said. That's what Dave Rubin said about him. Said he's anti-Semitic. That's what Ben Shapiro said about him, said he's anti-Semitic. Now he's buying, and then I have a few other clips. These are clips I made. The one clip that I thought was interesting was the Clintons asked the Kardashians to push the vaccine. Let me show that. Rip the Veil says Drake is Jewish too. Right. Is Drake is kind of Jewish, right? He's half Jewish. Was his mom Jewish? Yeah, that's right. And then he said Drake is his favorite. He also said controversially that Drake is the best rapper ever. And I don't even know if Drake writes his own stuff. Drake is good, and there are some good. He does have some really good songs, but I don't think he's as good as I don't think he's as good as like Jay-Z or Eminem necessarily, and I don't think he writes his own stuff. I don't think, but I don't know for sure. He's not as good as Kendrick, for sure. I don't think he's not as good as Kanye West used to be either. Kanye West was better than Drake, but he says Drake is the best. And people are telling me Drake is Jewish. So there you go. Drake does talk about playing bar mitzvahs and stuff. Let's see. Here's clips I have. Here's Clinton's ask Kardashians to push the vax. Let me see this one. I have a few clips. Oops, what the heck? My clips. You can make clips on YouTube. You know, you guys could clip this show too. If I ever say anything interesting, clip it. You could share it on TikTok even. You could grow. Oh, wow. You know what? This is weird. I wonder if the video has been deleted by YouTube. I was going to make a commentary about this. You know, I was going to comment on the fact that Kanye wasn't censored and saying that that was kind of weird considering, you know, Susan at YouTube and that he said stuff that is by definition anti-Semitic. It was still on YouTube and had hundreds of thousands of views. Now I'm going to grab a clip, and this may have just happened. So how do okay. It says the clip can be unavailable. Okay. So it maybe was totally deleted. Gay interview drink champs. Maybe it was deleted. Huh. Well, it looks like it was deleted. A few people have reposted it. Here's one that's reposted and another one that's reposted. But it looks like they deleted the video. So what can you say? The only problem with that is it does kind of confirm, what Kanye said. But on the other hand, he said things. I was going to say censorship is so ridiculous because he shouldn't be censored. He said, but other people would have been censored for what he said. And I guess now they did decide to censor him. So they got Kanye West, it looks like. So maybe I have to tweet about that, tell people. Looks like the interview has been taken down. So I was going to comment actually on the lack of censorship. I was going to propose again that it would be different probably if he was white and saying the same things, because probably they'd ask to take his music off. So far, nobody's asked to take his music down. So I thought was like, okay. So far he isn't 100% canceled. And then I found out that he got canceled from his bank before the things he said about Jewish people. But I am concerned now. Now that interview is censored, so he can't even say what he wants to say, and he wants to go to war with Jewish people. I would play more clips. I had some clips, but now it looks like that that thing is down. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to download I'm going to use my technology to download the full interview while it's still on YouTube under a different form. 3.5 hours. He said a lot of stuff. He said a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, he said that now when he dates women, that he's like going to give them a house and stuff. He's just all about being rich. And now he's buying Parler, which I think is really dumb. And let's see. Oh, no, I want to save it in video form. It's probably going to be available other places on the internet, though, huh? Other places will upload it. I'll still download it. 3.5 hours. It's going to take up a lot of space. Well, I'll still download it. So he did get censored, though, it looks like. I wish I had the screenshot, then I would share it with people. So that happened to Kanye. I told you what he said. I played you a few clips. Oh, here's another clip. Okay. Since the original video was taken down. Here's the clip that was the most talked about, though, from the whole interview, was actually what he said about George Floyd, which was the most controversial thing and the thing that was trending. And then this video clip I'm about to show you has over 10 million views. So it's what he said about George Floyd that really triggered people, even though he said a lot of things about Jews too. So this is what really triggered people.
I watched the George Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up. One of the things that his two roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. He said a prayer for 8 minutes. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. When he said mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend. It's in the documentary. But something that hit me, that fucked me up when I was watching the documentary, and it said, they want a tall guy like me. When I looked at that image of him, this tall black dude with the bald head, he reminded me of somebody else. Who do you think he reminded me of?
Virgil.
He reminded me of Virgil. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna cry in front of y'all because that's how they get me, right?
Right.
But I know that we lost him. And I know that this white company, Louis Vuitton, is now making statues of him, like as a martyr. And we don't know why exactly. We say it's cancer.
But all right. I want to be careful with this subject because.
Wait a second, but tell me, could you even really run this interview? Because Mav didn't run my interview.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They blocked me out. The Jewish media blocked me out. This shit lit, right? I'm lit, right? I'm lit.
Right.
I'm lit. You know what I'm saying?
Lit.
JP
I'm
Morgan,
lit.
I put $140 million into JP Morgan and they treated me like shit. So if JP Morgan Chase is treating me like that, how they treating the rest of y'all?
That's outrageous, yeah.
And this murderers with Chase accounts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I am outraged. By the time people they want to calm it down.
Because no matter what, you didn't break no law.
I didn't break a law.
No
I
matter
didn't
what,
break a law.
The bank shouldn't be a judge or jury on anything that's
But
going
this
on.
is it's like a social contract. Candace Owens has a word for it, I'm forgetting. But it's basically like they told Candace Owens she couldn't hang out with me.
They did. They told her that, you know what I mean? So you got to be careful what you say. You can't say they do this, they do that. But sometimes it's just funny to say that, I think. Because then they'll say, like, if you say they, then you must be talking about the Jews. Or they say everything's an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, right? Like the New World Order, because, oh, you're saying it's the Jews. Well, we're not saying it's the Jews. Even when you're not saying it's the Jews, they'll say you're anti-Semitic because that's like the ultimate smear. It seems like, right? I don't know how they got that status where the ultimate smear, racism is bad. Definitely being anti-black is bad. It definitely gets you. But the anti-Semitism thing, if they can get you with that, if they can get you good, they'll get you canceled. And like I said, I'm pretty sure, as far as whether I could have a problem with Jewish people, and I don't, because there are a lot of really cool Jewish people. So I don't, but I could, because I was there, because some of them are into censorship. Some Jewish people are into censorship. So like if I wanted to have a Jewish conspiracy, I'd say, why are, I mean, you could say that, because I did have this like rich, powerful Jewish person, hedge fund manager, who didn't like me, and then decided I was anti-Semitic on top of it. And then like went out of his way to get me canceled and stuff, like the ADL does to everybody. And the ADL also, by the way, is Jewish people. And then there are people like Sacha Baron Cohen, who just advocates for outright censorship of everybody. And that's really annoying. That Jewish person, I don't like that Jewish person, or the ADL and stuff. But then on the other hand, you have like the ACLU used to be amazing. Like I care about free speech. So I care about free speech. So it's like the Jewish people that censor people I don't like them. I don't like those Jewish people that censor people. And I think it's annoying. I think those Jewish people are annoying. But the Jewish people that work for the ACLU, the Jewish attorneys that work for the ACLU that defended like the rights of people even though I disagree with anti-Semites and the KKK and stuff, it was cool that those Jewish attorneys stood up for free speech back in the day. And then there are other Jewish attorneys that stand up for free speech all the time. So that's cool. And I'm not saying all Jews are attorneys, but there are some. They're more represented, than other people. And some of them are like really good at it. And then there are some terrible ones that are also good sometimes, like Dershowitz, who's like an evil Jewish person, but also sometimes is on the right side of issues. But what are you supposed to do? So those are some honest feelings, but some Jewish people are definitely really cool. And there are lots of them. And they're like, to point out how prominent they are and how like the most prominent Twitter profiles and stuff. A lot of them are Jewish. Just the way it is. Maybe they're better at Twitter, or they're better at media or something. I'm not sure, but it's possible because they are overrepresented. You should be able to say that. They definitely are overrepresented in media, for example, but I just think they're really good at it. And then if you look at other things, I mean, there are some crazy numbers and statistics. Have you ever looked at Nobel Prizes? Jewish people make up 0.2% of the population, but win 25% of Nobel Prizes, 25% of Nobel Prizes, for real. So they either are so they really might be superior. That's the other thing. They really might be better. And that's what a lot of people say. So that they have a higher IQ. That's what people say. People on the right, like Jordan Peterson and stuff, they'll be like, oh, of course Jewish people run things. It's because they're smarter. So, don't know. Maybe it's true. But then you're getting into statistics and IQ, and you don't even want to go down that road. So is Kanye going to make it? I don't know. I think Kanye's in trouble because he's cutting off his relationship with Gap and Adidas. And I don't know if he's competent to run his own business. And I think buying Parler is really dumb. And he basically bought it from Candace Owens. So Candace Owens really is, grifting the relationship pretty hard, or she did a really good grift, basically, by being friends with Kanye West and getting Kanye West to buy her husband's failing Twitter competitor. I mean, what is it like? Buying a Twitter competitor right now would be, I can't imagine that it'd be like buying shares of Facebook. Maybe not as dumb as buying shares of Facebook, but pretty dumb, pretty like high quality, stupid decision to buy Parler, which is like the 4th or 5th competitor to Twitter, not one that Trump is on. And then Elon Musk is buying Twitter. So Trump's going to be back on Twitter. And then once Elon Musk is in control of Twitter, then Kanye won't ever get fully banned from Twitter. And Twitter is where everybody's at and stuff. So I just think that's a bad decision. I don't know how he's going to do running his own business. People don't like working with him. He's like ruined a lot of relationships. He canceled on some shows that he was supposed to do. So I don't know that he's doing 100% great, but he is telling the truth as he sees it. And I super appreciate that. I appreciate somebody who doesn't think like everybody else, just speaking their mind. And I wish that he wouldn't get censored. And it looks like he did. Looks like he did get censored. So let's see. Yeah, I have a story about his business partners backing away and stuff. And then I have that Donald Trump. Oh, and finally, what I have in this thumbnail for the show is Kanye West. He said he put 140 million with JP Morgan Chase. And he got cut off by JP Morgan Chase. And then today or yesterday, he was spotted wearing a Satoshi Nakamoto baseball cap. And he had been wearing his 2024 baseball cap. So he's got a Satoshi Nakamoto baseball cap. I would get that if he sold it. I would get the other thing he mentioned. I would play you the clip. The other thing he mentioned was that he wanted to sell his White Lives Matter t-shirt through a guy that I guess works with American Apparel or something. And that guy's Jewish, and then decided he wouldn't print the shirts, and then told Kanye that Kanye West needs to go to the Holocaust Museum. And then Kanye said he told the Jewish guy that he needed to go to Planned Parenthood because that's Black people's Holocaust Museum. I thought that was a good line. One thing you notice about Jewish people is they do bring up the Holocaust a lot. That's true. That's one thing. If I was being frank, I'd say, yeah, you know what I mean? They do talk about the Holocaust a lot. And it's true that, and that's one reason I've speculate that maybe some Jewish people are more into censorship because of the whole Holocaust thing. And they think, oh, if we censor people, then there won't be another Holocaust. And that was like the worst. Everybody knows that the worst event in human history was the Holocaust. There's no comparison, and you can't question anything about it because that's anti-Semitic. Yeah, I got in trouble for doing that before. Definitely can't have any questions about that, or they say that's anti-Semitic too. So I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom. Kanye West believes in freedom. That's why he has the Bitcoin hat on. video got deleted from YouTube. All right. Even Trump, here we go. Here's from the Rolling Stone. Even Trump says Kanye West is crazy, is acting too crazy and needs help. That's what Trump said. Acting too crazy and needs help, apparently. Then skip to the next headline. White House calls Donald Trump's attack on Jews anti-Semitic. So then people that call Donald Trump anti-Semitic are my favorite kind of people. I mean, to make fun of, because he's so not anti-Semitic. He's so pro-Jewish, at least super pro-Israel. And then all like Ivanka is Jewish, and his grandchildren are Jewish. So it's really, really, really funny to me anytime Donald Trump is called anti-Semitic, because he's the most pro-Jew. He might be one of the most pro-Jewish, at least pro-Israeli Jew president of all time. You know, he moved the embassy to Jerusalem. I mean, he did all these things that like Zionist Jews love Donald Trump for the most part, because he's into that whole thing. So it is funny. He said something. Let me see if they even show his tweet. He said that American Jews need to get their act together and show more appreciation toward the state of Israel before it's too late. And who said, oh, Jean-Pierre. Jean-Pierre said it's anti-Semitic. Here. He said American Jews don't appreciate Donald Trump enough, basically. He just said American Jews don't appreciate all the shit I did for Israel, which, fair enough. He did do a lot of shit for Israel, if you'd like that kind of thing. He says evangelicals really appreciate him more. And just a reminder, the biggest pro-Israel lobby group in America is not Jewish. It's actually Christian. CUFI, Christians United for Israel. So evangelical Christians are the largest Zionist demographic in the United States. So that's one reason you can't say it's all Jewish people, because evangelical Christians are just as crazy, if not more so. And especially about like what they believe about the apocalypse and the state of Israel and stuff. Always skepticism about religions that are trying to bring about the apocalypse. But
Donald Trump's comments were anti-Semitic, as you all know, and insulting, both to Jews and to our Israeli allies. But let's be clear, for years now, Donald Trump has aligned with extremist and anti-Semitic figures. And it should be called out, to your point, Darlene, just like we called out our Democratic friends and colleagues last week. And we will condemn and call this out as well. So we need to root out anti-Semitism everywhere. It rears its ugly head. We need to call this out. Donald Trump's comments were...
I have his comments. Let me see if I have his comments. He just basically said American Jews don't love Donald Trump enough. And for that, he was called anti-Semitic. They said it was because of the dual loyalty trope, because he said that Jews should be more loyal to Israel. Because if you say, that's another thing that they say is anti-Semitic. Like if you say Jewish people are loyal to Israel, that's anti-Semitic. Even though a lot of Jewish people care about Israel, and a lot of people, like Jewish people who are Zionists and stuff, I don't hold it against them. Like in Berkeley right now, Jewish law students can't go certain places on campus. And I think that's totally wrong. And that different viewpoints, like if somebody is a Zionist, I'm not going to say automatically that that makes them, they should be excluded from society, because that's the same shit they do, to BDS people, is that, oh, you can't be BDS. Well, you don't want to say then you can't be Zionist. Oh, people can be Zionists. If that's their belief, it's fine. If they believe they're the chosen people and God granted them this land and so they can illegally occupy it, take it from people who lived there before, then that's their prerogative. They can believe that. We can criticize them, but they can believe that. And I think it's crazy what's going on in Berkeley, that Jews are being excluded from certain campus spaces and stuff just because they're Zionists. Yeah, I mean, you criticize Zionism and stuff, but we should be able to talk to people. And then, and you definitely should be able to make fun of everybody. You should be able to. You're not, but you should be able to make fun of everybody, not just white people, because then you get in situations like this. I have a tweet that is extremely offensive. Here, from the president of the NAACP. From the president of the NAACP. Apparently, that's what it says, NAACP president. So this is a person that should be against racism, you would think. Says on Twitter, whiteness is an unrelenting demonic force of evil. He says whiteness is an unrelenting demonic force of evil. And that's on Twitter. And he's like the president of the NAACP. So anybody wants to criticize Kanye after shit people say like that, I mean, that's where it gets, it's what he said is so offensive. And it is totally allowed on Twitter. And it totally proves the point of everybody who says that there's a double standard, proves their point. There is definitely a double standard, because you can't say that about any other race on Twitter. You couldn't say that being Asian or being Jewish or being black was an unrelenting demonic force of evil. It's very offensive. Super not true. Like, I don't think the fact that I'm white makes me demonic. And I don't think the fact that somebody's Jewish makes them a bad person. Or any of the other things. People should be judged based on like how they are. So that's what people are allowed to say, though. So people say there's a double standard. Yes, you can say that on Twitter, that whiteness is an unrelenting demonic force of evil. Okay, let me see what else I want to talk to you guys about today. I have some vaccine. I had that news. You guys, I told you, right? All right, that's it about the Jewish people. Hopefully I didn't say anything that would get me canceled or anything, because I, like I said, am not racist. I like everybody. I'm saying what Kanye said, some of the things Kanye said were offensive, and he generalized. But I still like to call things out sometimes, if that's okay. And people can make fun of me, and that's okay too. And people can say those things about white people, and that's okay. I'd like to see them say it. I don't want to see people censored because they're racist against white people, because I know some people are racist against white people, and it's good to see them say it. Then oh, that's not a trustworthy person. That's not a person you want to talk, or you might want to educate that person. say, oh, by the way, whiteness isn't evil. All right, I'll show you guys this about COVID. Show you a few things about COVID. You can support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. If you guys buy me some coffee, sometimes I do extra content. Buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. And thanks to people who did super chat also. I can't figure out where to go to just see super chats, but I'll try to catch them as I come in. So this happened. Boston University created a new super powerful COVID strain, apparently, that killed 80% of the mice that it infected. So I guess it could get out. They say there's outrage over it. 8 in 10 mice infected with the strain died. So they're apparently in a super safe lab where they made I don't know why they're doing it. I thought we weren't supposed to do gain of function. They took parts of Omicron and parts of the original virus and put them together and apparently made a super virus that kills almost everything that it runs into. You were super susceptible to dying from COVID, but they didn't die when they were exposed to Omicron by itself. This is some kind of super Omicron. I see someone in the chat says they're outraged. Well, good. I want this show to generate outrage. Okay, so here's one where we don't want to get into medical misinformation. This absolute conspiracy theorist, doctor, I think he's actually a doctor, John Campbell, does these YouTube videos. They're talking about, this has nothing to do, that's what I'll say. That's how I can say it. This has nothing to do with the vaccine or anything. Just has to do with more people dying than usual. More people are dying than usual in Australia. So that's what this guy's talking about, John Campbell. So I'll play it. This has nothing to do with the vaccine. This just has to do with people dying. So it can't be medical misinformation, I don't think.
2022 deaths up to the 30th of June. So it's just the first half of 2022. Now, obviously, people die in Australia. 92,699 deaths in Australia. Okay, people die in Australia. We know this. But the point is, this is higher than the 5-year average. And it's a lot higher than the 5-year average, as it is in other countries. There was 13,524 deaths more than the historical average. 17.1% more people dying in the first half of 2022 in Australia than we would expect. And this is the same for other countries. And yet this isn't the top of the news every day. Many more people are dying than we would expect in many countries, as we've just looked at. What is going on? What is the cause of this? We need to know this. And yet barely anyone seems to be asking the question. I'm asking the question today, but you probably won't see the question being asked on your official news media outlet today. I think we really need some sort of official inquiry into this. Why are 16.8 to 17.1% more people dying than we would expect? What are the cause or causes of this? And I really feel that this is something that government should answer as a matter of urgency.
There you go.
And indeed, academics.
So if people are asking questions, we want to ask questions without being called medical misinformation. So that's just the thing where people are dying. Extra people are dying some places of something mysterious. Something mysterious is killing people. Totally unrelated to the vaccine. Something is killing people. And something is making, people collapse on stage or while they're doing sports. Something. All right. Let me check out the Buy Me a Coffees real quick. Thanks everybody who supports the show. Thanks for the super chats earlier. Go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell. Thanks, Brian M., who says going hard in the paint. I hope not too hard. He says respect. Well, I don't know, because I like Jewish people. So I'm not trying to say anything I'm definitely not trying to say something that's too hard. Brian M. said, easy 2024. Why not? Mark Jeff says, I appreciate your show. I look forward to every episode. That guy bought 10 coffees while the show wasn't even on. And then Far McGargar also got 10 coffees and said, just wanted to drop in and say that your show does add value to the universe. As a daily listener, it was this show that helped me make it through the pandemic while remaining somewhat sane. Can't thank you enough. Well, that's got to be fake news, because I know nobody that is somewhat sane tunes into this show. But thank you for that. I appreciate it. Well, we're still doing the show Monday through Friday, mostly at 5 p.m., sometimes a little earlier on Friday. That's what we learned. So, all right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Got you all the news updates. Thanks for the coffees. Thanks for the thanks, Vogan Filter on Rockfin. A reminder on Rockfin, you can tip there before or after the show. And we do appreciate that too. So, all right. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next one. For now, that's what it is.